So today's lecture is about the Edo sentence structure and word order. Many of you have requested for this lecture for quite some time now. You've been requesting for it. And in my previous video, which I uploaded yesterday, the 10th of February, I did indicate that I'll be uploading this particular lecture today. So here it is. So let's get started. Now, first of all, I'll present you some key facts that relate to Edo language structure or how words are ordered in Edo sentences. So the first thing is that Edo is an SVO language. So it's a subject, verb, object language. So when it comes to the word order, so there are other languages that are SOV, OSV, and so on, but Edo is SVO, just like English. And for instance, when we look at the sentence Uji Tiebe, so Uji is reading a book. So you have the Uji, which is the subject, Tie is the verb, Ebe is what he is reading. So we have this structure, subject, verb, object. And this is the structure for unmarked sentences, so regular sentences. This is SVO. But occasionally, Edo also allows OSV structure. So depending on whether you want to lay a particular emphasis on something, like if you want to lay emphasis on a particular part of the sentence, for instance, you can say ebe or eujitie, or because of the contraction there, ebe or ujitie. So a book it is that Uyi is reading. That is when you translate it one to one. Oe is it is, but it actually in normal English sentences it will be it is a book that Uyi is reading. So the emphasis is on the book and not just about Uyi reading something. So you have this structure of OSV, and then I have it here in more detail. So you have the object and then the OE plus the subject and then the verb. So the main thing is that in either case, the verb always comes after the subject. So the main verb in the sentence always comes after the subject. So you can shift some certain things for emphasis, like I said, in marked sentences. So we call that marked sentences. So you can shift the object to the front. Sometimes you can also shift the adverb. For instance, yesterday or today or last week. You can put that in the front, and then the remaining structure remains. But before we continue, I just want to quickly give you an important hint, which would also link some of the things that we have talked about in some of my previous lectures. So it would give you a kind of overview and make you understand some certain things better. So so we just said that Edo is an SVO language. So the structure is SVO for the main part, and then occasionally, depending on emphasis, it also allows OSV. So, and then in my previous lecture about the three facts, everyone needs to know about Edo language, you learned that all Edo nouns start with a vowel, and you also learned that about 80% of Edo verbs end with a vowel. So the other 20% they end with a nasal N or a regular N. So like I said, that was in this lecture, in lecture number 3. So now we have this structure SVO, the subject, verb, object. So so in regular sentences. So the subject, which is a noun, so has a front vowel. So the first sound of that word is a vowel. And then we have the verb, which ends with a vowel. So we're looking at the 80% now, okay? So ends with a vowel, but even the one that ends with a nasal N or a regular N are followed by a vowel, but we are not looking at that now. Let's look at the one that really ends with a vowel. And then that verb is followed by an object, which is also a noun. and starts with a vowel. So you see, we always have this thing that a vowel is being followed by a vowel, and they sort of clash because the sounds are sometimes they are the same, sometimes they are very like similar, and that is the reason for the high frequency of contraction in Edo sentences. So that's why the rule of contraction, which you learned in lecture 2A, is very frequent in Edo language because we have this structure. You see that we have this structure in the marked sentences. So that is very important. And the only exception is where diphthongs are possible in Edo language. But that will be topic for another lecture in which I explain the exception to the rule of contraction. So diphthongs are sounds that are made by the gliding from when we glide from one vowel sound to another. So there are some diphthongs in Edo language. So that is where the rule of contraction does not apply. So we actually pronounce the two vowels that like the vowel that is at the end of the verb and the vowel that is at the beginning of the object. But most of the time the rule of contraction applies. So this is just something I wanted to quickly explain to you guys. So here for the structure for unmarked sentences, we have the subject, because we have SVO. So we have the subject, verb, and the direct object comes first. The direct object comes before an indirect object. And then we can have, for instance, an adverb or like an adverb of time. So, or adverbial phrase of time. So here we have a sentence, Osato, which is a female name. Osato mue bo nue no de. So Osato mu ekbo nue ne. The where is the indirect it's the indirect pronoun, so indirect personal pronoun, and it serves like the indirect object here. No, there is the adverbial phrase of time. So it's the same thing. So this sentence is also, you can also say it in another way. Osato mwe bonwe ve no de, and the ve is like at yesterday or in yesterday. It's just it belongs to the no there, or it introduces the no there. So so this means Osato gave a bag. Mwepo gave a bag. And from my last lecture, you know that mu is used because it is ekbo. Because ekbo occupies space and it usually has weight to it. So Osato mwepo, Osato gave a bag to you yesterday, or you can simply say Osato gave you a bag yesterday. Okay. So now we can also add some other adverbs. For instance, if we have, because this is adverb of time, if we have that of place, then we will say that of place comes before the one of time. So we'll have a sentence like this: Osato mwebu no fwa nwe veki no de. So now we have an adjective. So an adjective comes after the noun that it describes. So that's why it comes after the direct object, which is also a noun. So ekbo is a bag. Ekbo nofwa is a white bag. Efwa is the Edo word for white. So efwa is whiteness. Nofwa is the one that is white. So that is the adjective. So we'll have, when you translate that sentence one to one, it is Osato gave a bag that is white to you at the market yesterday. Their keys at the market. And that is why you see this they know there. So it's this at the. So and then you can just simply say Osato gave you a white bag at the market yesterday. And now the structure for marked sentences. So now we are placing the adverbial phrase of time. We are placing that in the front. So all other words remain in their usual position. Only the one of time we take forward, and it will look like this: Inode oito asamenwe. So yesterday it was. So we have to put this oe there. You can't just say enode ito asamenwe. Well, you can say that in like a colloquial um like when you're talking with your friends, like it's actually not really grammatically correct, but you can say it. But the correct way to say for the sentence is this: like enode oito asamenwe. Yesterday it was that Itoan gave water to you. Yesterday Itoan gave water to you. But the emphasis is really on enode, because then it's they are trying to show that it wasn't yesterday, it wasn't last week. Sorry, it wasn't today, it wasn't last week, it was yesterday. So that there's the emphasis there. And or if we take the direct object forward, we place it in the front, we'll have a structure like this. Amere, ame, you see up there in the first sentence is water. But ameren is hot water. And instead of contracting it here, because it's one word, so then the e in ame falls off, and it takes then the a in eren, which is fire. It actually means fire, water or fire, but then it's hot water. Amere oito asanue vibae vena. Ena is the word for today. Ibai is outside. So the sentence is hot water it was that Itoan gave you outside today. Or it was hot water that Itoan gave you outside today. So that's basically it for this part for marked sentences. And also that's it for the lecture. It was a short one. I hope it's useful to you, and I hope you enjoyed it. And as usual, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to share this video, and certainly don't forget to like it. And also like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And if you want to support this channel, I would appreciate it. I've left many links in the description box below, a link to our Amazon registry, and also if you're interested in our upcoming online course, Introduction to Edo Language, there's also the link is also in the description box below. And so finally, I want to thank you for being here with me and for watching this till the end. See you next time. Bye bye.